guys, I am Trina and I am doing my May book haul today. First up, I received these 3 books in the mail from some really incredible booktubers. You might have seen these in my unboxing, which you can click up here to watch that. But these books are The Goose Girl by Shannon Hale, which I won in a giveaway from Sarah Ella. A Darker Shade of Magic by V.E. Schwab, which was sent to me as a belated birthday gift from Kayla Rain. And this random book, Goosebumps, A Choose Your Own Adventure Escape from the Carnival of Horrors, which was sent to me by Marinez from the channel My Name is Marinez. She sent this to me because she's putting together a collab project to do with this book. I'm not sure if that will be on her channel or on her blog channel, Snark Squad, but I'll tweet about it. Someone will let you know when it does go up, so stay tuned for that. I also purchased 3 books for myself this month, and the first of those is Not a Drop to Drink by Mindy McGinnis. You guys have probably heard me talk about this a lot here, especially if you've been around for a while. But if you're new here, I love this book. This is one of my all-time favorites. I actually didn't own it yet, and I finally picked up a copy. What it's about is this is a post-apocalyptic future where the electricity has gone out, so cities have kind of just crumbled, and there is a lack of fresh drinking water. So the whole premise of this world is that water is like currency, so people fight for water, try to find places with clean water. There's a lot of tension between the different groups of people in this world and how they interact with each other. It reads very similarly to like an alien apocalypse or a zombie apocalypse novel without that supernatural element. The next book I bought this month is A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. This was my #1 most anticipated release of this year. I actually went to a book signing for this book. I cannot believe that Sarah J. Maas came to my town, so I got to meet her. I was completely awkward, so yeah. And this is what she signed in my book. It says, "Thank you, thank you, thank you," and she wrote that in it because I had brought her some candy. I've already read it. I did film a in-depth book talk with my feelings on this book, but a brief overview is this is a new adult fantasy retelling of Beauty and the Beast. I think the main character is 19, so she's a little bit older than YA protagonist, and there are some sexy times in it. That's why it's new adult. But the premise is our main character is out hunting one day. She has to hunt to feed her family because they're just on really hard times, and she kills a wolf, but it ends up not being just an ordinary wolf. It is actually a fairy shapeshifter. So a few days later, this High Lord of the Fairies comes to her door and says, "You've killed one of my kind, and the only way to repay his life is with your life." This fairy takes her back to the fairy realms, and she has to live there for the rest of her life, which is a very bad thing because there is a long history between the fairies and the humans, lots of wars. They basically hate each other, but once she gets there, she starts learning that not everything is as it seems, and there's actually a curse on their land, and she might be the key to breaking the curse. The last book I purchased this month is The Heir by Kira Cass. Yes, I love this series. This is book #4 in the Selection series. If you have not read the original trilogy, the premise of the first book was that a girl from a lower class family was selected to go to the royal palace and compete to win the heart of the prince and to become the next queen. So that was 3 books worth of a story, and we thought that was going to be it. But then Kira Cass decided to write this spin-off, which is actually set 20 years after the end of the original trilogy. So there is a new king and queen in the palace, and their daughter, the princess, is now holding her own selection. Every time I talk about these selection books in any of my videos, I get a lot of comments from people saying that they aren't sure if they should check it out. They've heard a lot of bad stuff about it. Maybe they'll check it out, but they're just unsure. And what I say in response to that is there are over 200,000 ratings of that first book on GOODREADS, and it has over a 4-star rating, which is very high, especially with that amount of ratings. This probably is not going to be the next classic literature, but it's fun and it's enjoyable, and I like it, and plenty of people like it. I would encourage you to pick it up and try it for yourself and form your own opinions. I love this series, so this was like my second most anticipated release of this year, and I had to grab it as soon as I could. So I have already read this, and again, I'll talk more about it in my wrap-up. Next, I picked up 6 books from the library this month, and I didn't do another library haul from my car. I really enjoyed doing that vlog last month, but I picked these up on several different trips to the library, so there wasn't just one time that I could go and film it from my car. But if you guys liked that, let me know, because I would love to do that again in the future. The first book I picked up from the library is An Ember in the Ashes by Sabaa Tahir, and I actually have no idea what this book is about. I am trying to avoid it like the plague because it is so overhyped right now. Then I also picked up Slammed by Colleen Hoover, and the reason I got this book was because for my TBR jar challenge this month, I drew to read a book that somebody else picks for me, and my friend Holly has been begging me to read this book for like 2 years now, so I told her whenever I drew that one from my challenge I would read this book, so that's what I'm doing this month. I have not started it yet, and there's like a week left in May, so we'll see if I actually do that or not. Again, I don't know what this is about. I just know it's by Colleen Hoover and people love it, and something about poetry. I also picked up The Winner's Crime by Marie Rudkowski, and this is book number 2 in the Winner's trilogy. I read the first book, The Winner's Curse, last year, and I loved that book so much. It's a fantasy world with a lot of political intrigue and a kind of a star-crossed lovers angle, which I loved it. I loved the first book. You should definitely find someone who can summarize it better than me and check out the series. The next book I checked out from the library is Simon versus the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli, and again, I avoid book summaries, guys. Something about Harry Potter, I really don't know, and something about Oreos too. Booktuber fail. I also checked out Magonia by Maria Devana Headley. I think a girl has trouble breathing and she discovers that there is a feather in her lung and like she belongs to the world of the birds. I will give you awesome summaries in my wrap-ups though, so. And the last book I got from the library is Miss Mayhem by Rachel Hawkins. This is book number 2 in the Rebel Belle series. First book, Rebel Belle, is about our main character who is like the most popular girl in school, and one day when she's at the homecoming dance, this old man janitor stumbles in, and as he dies, he passes on a power to her, and it turns out that he was actually a guardian. They're called paladins. Now our main character has become a guardian, and she is tasked with protecting her arch nemesis at school. She has to do everything she can to protect him, and she starts learning that she has all these new cool powers. I was really surprised by how much I loved it. So this is another one of those sequels that I've really been looking forward to, but just haven't gotten around to reading yet, but now I have it, so maybe I can get to it soon. I don't know, guys. I feel like Gus Gus from Cinderella. Okay, 12 books. Oh man, they're gonna follow me. So these are the books that I brought into my home in the month of May, either through gifts or purchasing them or getting them from the library. Let me know what the last book you bought or checked out from the library is down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the comments. Bye!